Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm representing Singapore Swimming Association and also my employer, the Singapore Sports Hub. In this podium here, basically to talk about primarily swimming during the short period of time, although we deal with all the 4 aquatic sports. We have been working with Fina since the 2005 period with Ms. Cornell, and the Fina collaboration, especially with the government, Singapore Sports Council, when I was there as a CEO, very pleased to be in collaboration with Fina, and I also want to thank them for this invitation to share. Singapore Swimming Association has been in existence since 1939. Swimming is the second most popular sport in Singapore after running and jogging. And the country being surrounded by water basically allows us to focus on this aquatic sport, but more importantly, the executive committee's manifesto is really every Singaporean a swimmer. Incidentally, a very good subject matter this morning when the president of Fina actually pushed us into looking in this, which I think we agree 100%. Today I thought I would just cover a few areas. Firstly, to introduce to you the high performance system, and then I wanted to essentially talk about the manufacturing of high performance athletes, and basically a receptacle called the Singapore Sports Hub, whereby this aquatic center is a key component of this whole process, and finally talking about the marketing program that we have. Now, essentially keeping these topics very, very simple for everyone to understand. And personally, I've been involved from concept to design to implementation, and we're still in the process of implementation and trying to get better. This is a simple template that we use. A good friend of ours from Australia, one of the sports institutes in Australia, educated us, showed us the total holistic fashion of how high performance should be achieved. And from there we learned, we looked at the different segments, we applied, but we more importantly held a very strong philosophy about athlete-centric, coach-driven, science-supported, and a system-based. Now let me talk about the so-called manufacturing process here. For our national team, historically I think we've been achieving at least at the Southeast Asian standard with a sporadic win at the Asian and Olympic world level, not many. And so for the aspiration of the country where we want to go beyond the Southeast Asian standard and consistently be hitting at podium results at both Asian and world level, this whole scheme was talked about since the early 2000s. Essentially what this high performance structure is about, on the left side, it basically shows you the pipeline that we look at. While there is a national team at the apex, our system considers the pipeline from the clubs, very, very key component, and the Singapore Sports School as essential partners to deliver this continuous pipeline of swimmers for us to achieve. And in recent weeks, we also announced the appointment of a new national coach, Coach Sergio Lopez, Spanish Olympian, coached many Olympic medalists from the Bowles School in Florida. And with him, he would be essentially reporting to this high-performance swimming committee, essentially made up of officials as well as coaches, and then commanding that and guiding the whole high-performance system. While we have a national coach, we have a foreign national coach, our emphasis is also about transferring knowledge, about ensuring that our local coaches are constantly upgraded, because there's a legacy that we're looking for. We're looking for also for multi-year basis. We know that to upgrade our national team results, the whole pipeline and the clubs and the local coaches must also be upgraded. So the different segments of emphasis is shown in this chart right here. As we also proceed into the training and competition structure, there are objectives that we put forward. These 4 objectives, physical, mental, tactical, and technical, are incorporated into the larger strategy, the larger plan, to ensure that we have clear objectives in meeting all the training and competition instead of just sending teams overseas. The more the merrier sometimes, but without hitting the objectives. So to ensure a complete athlete, we also have two supporting bases here on an athlete commission. The first time in the history of Singapore Swimming Association that we have an athlete commission formed with a lot of advice from our NOC, and also a parents' advisory. At least in our country, swimming is a sport where parents play a big role in the entire process, and involving the parents, both in terms of their support as well as sometimes joint education, helps us to ensure the system is comprehensive. This chart attempts to show you the multifaceted partnership that we push forward. While we are athlete-centric and coach-driven, we also know that many other players play a big role in games and events, and therefore with committees, with a particular committee formed to actually look into this area of being multifaceted, being very deliberate in ensuring that we look at all issues, administrative, ensuring we follow the rules of each major games and so on. We had some problems with the goggles and caps issue with the logo, and this was just administrative lapses sometimes. And so having a process, having a committee like this to oversee this brings a lot of benefit for us. The Singapore Sports Hub, this is touted as the world's largest, most complex social infrastructure public-private partnership project, has won numerous project financing and architecture awards. It's located in the heart of Singapore, the city, and roughly about a $1.2 billion US project. Occupies 35-hectare land, but we also have access to 150 hectares of water. The water essentially is a reservoir, man-made reservoir. The Sports Hub essentially is a multi-venue project, 55,000-seater national stadium, aquatic center that sits from 3,000 to 6,000, depending on the event that we want to host. Arena, there's 6 indoor arenas, a 3,000-seater, water sports center to work with the 150-hectare water. We have a mall, shopping mall, we have library, museum, we have waterfront, etc. Now the vision of this project wasn't designed for a particular major games. It was designed for to be a fully integrated sports, entertainment, and lifestyle hub for all Singaporeans. So as a result of that, we had to ensure that we meet, look after the recreational to the elite aspects, the community to the commercial aspects. It was designed for 24/7 vibrancy, but can host major games. And next year we're hosting the Southeast Asia Games. Potentially, in my view at least, it can host up to an Asian Games level. Our design principles is about scalable, flexible, modular, and functional. And so, as an example, the National Stadium can host 4 international federation sports: soccer, rugby, athletics, and cricket, with moving tiers. The Aquatics Center is a key component within the Sports Hub. It's meant to host Fina events, but at the same time, we target 5 different target audience. Essentially, we have events competition, we have elite training, institutional use like schools and clubs, we have commercial use like learn to play, learn to swim, as well as public swim. So for example, the competition pool is a training ground for all aquatics discipline, but at the same time, the training pool outside event days are open to public all year round. We've hosted about 6 events so far in the last 5 months since it was open: the Southeast Asia Swimming Championship, National Swimming Championship, Diving Grand Prix, National Synchro Championship, the National Swimming Championship long course, as well as the recent Fina World Cup. Now, as part of the process, we are lucky to have a Singapore Sports Institute included in the Sports Hub, whereby all discipline of the sports medicine and sports science are incorporated in the design and in the resource sharing for the athletes. A little bit about the commercial aspects. I think for marketing, let me take the recent Fina World Cup as an example. This chart basically summarizes a profile of the event that just took place. With lots of help from Fina, we were able to pull off yet another event. Multi-year, this is the first time being held at the Aquatics complex, and I wanted to show you some of the work behind that allow us to push the marketing side to gain so-called more buy-in. For example, media, we had extensive coverage on multi-days leading up and after the event. We had venue branding. It was very deliberate, discussing with Fina, but at the same time also ensuring that our locations were prime. Being a new venue, we had to consult, we had to design the location in order to expose all the brands. Some other examples during the actual competition on venue branding. Off-site branding was also key for us. What we did was partnering with our mass rapid transit, basically a subway, and ensuring that the whole event was marketed through those platforms. We had flyers, we had posters, we had newspaper print ads, and so on. So overall, marketing itself, what we did differently was to basically get a communications manager, which was never been done before for ourselves. Media channel, we actually partnered with a particular company called Vox Sports to ensure that we actually had the opportunity to push our own videos, photography, and news articles through the social media and so on. Social media, that we had constant presence, we were pushing it all the time. We had somebody basically every hour pushing something out. As a marketing partner, I mentioned about the subway, where this particular subway hits about 2 million eyeballs every day. And so the marketing was very effective for us. Events management, we began to work with a local professional company. And so in the last 5 months itself, roughly about $600,000 of sponsorship was raised, allows us to channel the money back into the grassroots, into the 4 aquatic discipline. The amount of money is big for us, maybe may not be so big for the larger countries here. And so this is something about balancing between the product attractiveness and also ensuring that the eyeballs are taken care of, and then your sponsors will come in. With that, thank you very much. For us, the athlete centricity is very important, and this is our basically a list of icons here. Thank you.